tell us your name, your age, and where you were born.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now.
And you worked in motion pictures in Hong Kong?
Yes, since I was around 6 years old.
What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here, and welcome to the Grindhouse. This is a series of videos that's going to dive into the sleazy, the seedy, and the sexy world of exploitation cinema. And today, we're going to talk about Bruceploitation. Hey, look, you know, Bruce Lee, he died in 1973, and the entire Hong Kong film industry, it just collectively lost its mind. The man was only 32 and made exactly 5 films and was just the biggest thing that ever happened to martial arts cinema. So what did the studios do? They went full exploitation mode. Within hours of his death, producers were scrambling to find anyone who looked remotely like him, taught him the mannerisms, and gave them names like Bruce Lee with an L-I and Bruce Lee with an L-E. Oh, and even Dragon Lee. And then they just cranked out dozens of these films. Today, we're going to be counting down 10 of the most shameless, bonkers, and occasionally awesome films from this utterly deranged subgenre. All right, let's get to it. All right, we're going to get started with Bruce and the Shaolin Kung Fu, starring Bruce Lee, and that's spelt with just an L-E, who plays Chang Ling. Supposedly, he's the younger brother of Bruce Lee's character from Fist Fury. Yeah, they actually just straight up made him a relative. All right, so the Japanese are shutting down Kung Fu schools in Shanghai, so Chang has to flee to Korea, where, surprise, surprise, there's more Japanese villains waiting for him. It's basically Fists of Fury fan fiction, except everyone pretends it's official. What's wild is that this is actually one of the more restrained Bruceploitation efforts. New Bruce, he doesn't go hard on the Lee impressions, and there is this like pressure point kung fu subplot that's actually kind of cool. Plus, you get Bolo Young doing his pec twitching thing, and that is always a gift. The problem though, it's boring as hell between the fight scenes. They made a sequel called Bruce and Shaolin Kung Fu Part 2, I think that was like the next year, which somehow managed to be even less memorable. When your Bruceploitation sequel can't even keep my attention, you've got some problems.
Sir, you've been most kind and helpful.
Please, I'm not obliged.
Bruce and the Shaolin Bronzemen stars Bruce Lee again, with an L-E, but this time it's in the Philippines and he's looking for his uncle who's been shot. It turns out when you put together 2 halves of a magic coin, it reveals buried treasure from the Japanese army. So it's a treasure hunt movie mixed with kung fu and then mixed with shameless Bruce Lee exploitation. The title promises Bronzemen, and brother, you do not get what you expect. This thing is just all over the place. One minute it's a revenge plot, next it's Chinese Indiana Jones, and then suddenly we're back to people kicking each other in the warehouses. The fights are competent, but just nothing special. Even hardcore Bruce Lee fans admit this is one of his worst. And when your bar is already Bruceploitation, that's saying something. This thing existed, so mostly VHS rental stores could stock another movie with Bruce and Shaolin in the title. Well, I guess mission accomplished.
What's the trouble, mister?
Dragon Lee vs. the Five Brothers is a South Korean-Hong Kong co-production starring Dragon Lee, probably the most physically convincing Bruce Lee imitator out there. This guy actually kind of looks like him and could do a mean impression. Here he's delivering some secret list of revolutionaries while being chased by evil Shaolin masters working for the Qing dynasty. There's a dude with a silver hand, a woman with a knife-edged boomerang hat, and a villain whose throne shoots darts. You'd think all of that would make for a pretty fun time, right? But this movie, it's just so slow. The plot is incomprehensible. The pacing is just, and you can literally see the actors breathe in every outdoor scene because it was freezing during the production. Dragon Lee, I mean, he does his Bruce Lee mannerisms constantly. The screams, the poses, but they feel out of place in a period kung fu film. It's like watching someone doing a celebrity impression during a serious play. The final fight on the shore, it's actually really good, but you've got to wade through so much tedium to get there. It's a hard pass unless you're a Dragon Lee completionist.
Who is it?
Uncle Sue
What?
is dead. You'll find his body in a packing case by the car.
Who is
Godfrey Ho, the mad genius of cut and paste cinema himself. Early in his career, he was making relatively normal kung fu movies, and this is one of them. Dragon Lee, he plays Golden Dragon, who teams up with Silver Snake to investigate his brother's murder in Seoul. But wait, there's also speedboat racing, some baseball, and a plot that careens between martial arts and weird Western influences. The fights in this movie are actually solid. Dragon Lee is doing his thing in this one, and there is actual footage of Bruce Lee spliced into the beginning because why the hell not? This isn't peak Godfrey Ho weirdness. That came a bit later with his ninja cut and paste phase. But you can see the bonkers creativity starting to percolate here. This one's messy, it makes no sense half the time, but it's never boring. Hey, that reminds me. What's your favorite Bruceploitation flick? Or hell, I mean really any kung fu movie from the 70s or early 80s that you grew up rewinding on VHS? Drop it in the comments. I want to know which one of these shaped your brain damage like they shaped mine.
Robbery! 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 They was trying to rob me!
Well now, shall we all get down to business then?
This might be the least Bruceploitation of all Bruceploitation films. The image of Bruce Lee stars Bruce Lee with an L-I and plays a Hong Kong cop trying to bust a counterfeiting ring, and except for one throwaway line where someone says he kind of looks like Bruce Lee, this has nothing to do with the dragon. It's more like a gritty 70s cop show with martial arts thrown in. People have compared it to The Sweeney, and I think that's pretty much dead on accurate. The fights are repetitive and the camera work is basic, but here's the secret. Denalays in it. This woman steals like every scene she's in. I mean, she's gorgeous and funny, and she does nude scenes. And yet, she can fight like a mad woman. Quentin Tarantino said he absolutely loved this movie, which tells you everything you need to know, I guess. Bruce Lee spends the whole film wearing a brown leather coat he never takes off during fights. Either gave him superpowers, or it's just like really durable. And the final showdown with Bolo Yeung is totally worth the wait. I mean, it's not great, but it's got enough personality to rise above the usual cash grab nonsense.
Hey, mustache.
This is Peter Z, karate expert from Japan. Better known as the Bull Killer, because he can fell an ox with a single blow of his bare hand.
Bruce Lee, he's back, and this time, honestly, I don't know what the hell he's doing in this one. The plot of this thing is so convoluted, I mean, even Wikipedia can't help you here. What I do know is that this was one of the last gasps of the Bruceploitation era, right as Jackie Chan was exploding with The Snake and the Eagle's Shadow and Drunken Master. You can feel the genre, it's running out of steam here. The Bruce Lee imitations are getting lazier, the plots are more nonsensical, and the whole enterprise feels just desperate at this point. But there's still some like decent action to watch. You know, Bruce Lee is committed to the bit, and honestly, by 1979, these movies have gotten so weird that they're almost fascinating from like anthropological standpoint. It's not a good movie. I mean, let's be clear about that. If you've watched all the better Bruceploitation films and you're still hungry for more, they should scratch that itch. Bruce Lee and it's barely a movie. It's more like an opium dream that someone had about knowing Bruce Lee, and then they filmed it on a budget of like 12 yen. I mean, the title suggests some personal connection to the dragon, but it's just another excuse to have Bruce Lee lookalikes do kung fu for like 90 minutes. What makes this one memorable is just the sheer audacity of the thing. Most of these films at least try to have a plot, but this one was like, nah, let's just throw fight after fight at you with the barest thread of a story holding them together. This is exploitation in its purest form. No pretense, no apology, just shameless cash grabbing. I mean, I respect the honesty of it in like a weird way, right? They knew what they were doing, and they knew we knew what they were doing, and everybody, they just went with it.
因為佢喺嗰個 generation 嚟講，即係喺嗰個年代咧，就係好即係 Hong Kong 嚟講，仲係好。
Enter the clones of Bruce Lee. This one is way different. This one's just awesome. It's not an exploitation film. It's a documentary about exploitation of Bruceploitation. David Gregory tracked down the surviving Bruce clones, you know, Bruce Lee with an I, Bruce Lee with one E, and Dragon Lee. The producers, the directors, and historians who tell the entire story of this bonkers phenomenon. This documentary is fantastic. I mean, you get the real story of how these guys were cast, how they felt about impersonating Bruce Lee, and how the whole industry worked.
He actually did a couple of really good films. He did one called Dragon on Fire, which was also known as Dragon the Hero, which wasn't a Bruceploitation film, it was a period piece. But then when Dragon Lee steps into it, he's doing...
They admit how they felt uncomfortable at times, how they talk about they wanted to develop their own styles, but couldn't. And Dragon Lee, he discusses what it was like being told that he had to mimic, like, every single gesture. It's bittersweet and fascinating, and it makes you want to watch all these exploitation films with fresh eyes. If you want to understand why Bruceploitation happened, and what it meant to the people involved, this is essential viewing. I mean, plus, it's just really well made. Hey, if you've made it this far into the video about Bruce Lee knockoffs, you're clearly my people. So how about you go hit that like button, maybe even that hype thing with the fury of 1,000 flying kicks. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm knows you want more videos about dollar store dragons. I mean, I'm being serious here. Help me convince the internet that deep dives into exploitation trash deserve to exist.
很容易商量，有事情呢，我是比较赞成大家商量，大家开会，包括演员、武术导演、这个摄影师，甚至编剧一起聊。我拍戲嗰陣時，我幫攝影師落 camera。
Exit the dragon, enter the tiger. This is one of the big ones. The movie that went super hard on the exploitation angle. Bruce Lee plays Tiger, who's a student of the original Bruce Lee, and he investigates his master's death because obviously it was murder, right? I mean, the film opens with actual footage from Bruce Lee's real funeral. That's not a joke. I mean, they really did that. The plot of this film involves a crime boss called the Baron, who's blackmailing movie stars into smuggling drugs, and Lee's mistress has an incriminating tape recording. This thing is sleazy, disrespectful, and may I say, brilliant? The film literally shows Bruce Lee talking to the Bruce Lee through split-screen trickery, and Lee tells him, "If I die, find out why." The action, it's actually pretty good. The final fight on the rocky coastline with waves crashing, it's super impressive. The music is stolen from Pink Floyd, Isaac Hayes, and some James Bond scores. Look, this movie has no shame whatsoever. It exploits the mystery around Bruce Lee's death just for entertainment purposes. It's also one of the most memorable Bruceploitation films ever made because it went super hard. If you're gonna watch one of these to understand what the whole genre is about, this is the one.
Where is the tape?
I don't know.
Once more.
Okay, this is it. The Mount Rushmore of Bruceploitation. The clones of Bruce Lee is the Plan 9 from outer space of Kung Fu cinema. The film where they say, screw it, let's just put all the Bruce Lee imitators in one friggin' movie. The plot scientists extract cells from Bruce Lee's corpse, shown in actual funeral footage, again, and create 3 clones, creatively naming them Bruce Lee 1, Bruce Lee 2, and Bruce Lee 3. They're played by Dragon Lee, Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee. And there's also Bruce Tai in a supporting role. Anyways, the clones wear pasta strainers on their heads during programming, train to the Rocky theme, fight gold smugglers, battle bronze automatons, and at one point they hang out in Speedos watching topless women dance on beach to disco music. It's so insane. The 3 leads don't look like Bruce Lee. Hell, they don't even look like each other. And the fights are so confusing that you really can't even tell who's fighting who. The villain, he just laughs maniacally at literally everything. The editing is atrocious, but holy shit, this film is entertaining. This is the only film where Bruce Lee and Dragon Lee fight each other. Oh, and Bolo Young is here, and he's training the clones, with his pecs twitching with mad abandon. The movie is what happens when you take a fundamentally tasteless concept, push it to its absolute limit. It's disrespectful, it's bonkers, it's definitely poorly made. It's also like the perfect distillation of like everything Bruceploitation stood for, shameless exploitation married to genuine martial arts talent. You will never see anything like it again, and that's both a good thing and probably a bad thing. Bruceploitation burned bright and fast. For about 7 years after Bruce Lee's death, studios were pumping these imitators out, but by 1980, the genre was basically done. Why? Jackie Chan is why. He showed the world you didn't need to copy Bruce Lee. You could do something completely different. Jackie's comedic kung fu style, it was the opposite of Bruce's intensity, and audiences, they just ate it up. Plus the Shaw brothers, they were pushing new stars like Venom Mob, giving the genre some fresh blood. Some are terrible, some are surprisingly decent, but all of them are fascinating. They're proof that the grief, commerce, and martial arts make one hell of a strange cocktail. Oh, and keep it weird, folks.
本夜总会的规矩就是这样，衣冠不整者不准进来。我现在很寒酸吗？